Hello everyone. Thank you for joining today Evosys and BotSupply for this webinar that is going to be very much focused on the role of the chief HR officer going forward due to the crisis, the shifts in technology that we are experiencing over the last months and weeks, and I think we're just waiting a few more minutes for some more people to join. Before we get started, we usually spend quite some time in a Q&A session towards the end of the webinar, at least 10 minutes. So if you have any question, please start submitting your questions so that we can go through all of them during the Q&A session. And before we start, I see already the first 25 people joining the webinar today from different parts of the world. I see attendees from here in Europe, Middle East, Asia. So that is already pretty cool. And guys, if you want to share with us on a private message in the Q&A session, again, first of all, if you have any question, any topic that you would like to cover, especially in the Q&A session, that would be really helpful. But also, if you want to share with us your roles and responsibilities in the work in the companies where you're working, and maybe if you have any experience already with the digital assistants and chatbots, that would be really interesting for us to analyze and try to cover all the topics that really matter to you during this webinar. So please feel free to share as much as you want with us, even in the private message. That would still be very much fine. I would say one more minute, and then we can start. Arpan?
Yeah, Francisco, I can hear you.
Shall we get started?
Yes, please. Let's get started.
Okay, super. So once again, thank you everyone for joining BotSupply and Evosys in today's webinar. My name is Francesco Stasi. I'm the co-founder and CEO at BotSupply, and together with me I have Arpan from Evosys. Hi, Arpan.
A very good morning, everyone. This is Arpan Makwana from Evosys, and I'm heading a few practices for Evosys globally, which includes digital assistants that we are going to talk about today, then artificial intelligence, IoT, machine learning. So these are different types of practices that I run globally for Evosys.
Perfect. And just a quick agenda for today's webinar. Of course, a little bit of housekeeping and welcoming to everyone. Arpan is going to focus on the challenges that currently chief HR officers and HR teams around the world are facing, especially in the shift from working from office to working from home. We're going to have a look at how artificial intelligence, chatbots, digital assistants, especially integrated with Oracle HCM, can help HR teams succeed. I'm going to go through a 3 minutes live demo of how easy it is to build a chatbot, and then we're going to spend the last 5 to 10 minutes on a Q&A session. Once again, any question, any topic that you would like us to cover in the Q&A session, please feel free to ask questions anytime throughout the webinar. Arpan, I'll leave it to you.
Sure. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So what we've seen these days is it's not just about this current challenging situation because of COVID-19 that we are facing, but it's generally, I mean, when you look at the interactions that we have with the HR organizations. So as employees, they would want to get information regarding their roles, responsibilities, what policies applies to them. They want those kind of queries to be answered quickly, right? So so these are very important points that really drive the entire need of having digital assistant in the environment. So when you look at a chatbot, um, we don't need to, let's say we are implementing a new HR application, or we are shifting from an old HR application to a new one. So in such a case, it becomes easy to roll out the entire HR application to the organization very quickly, because we don't have to train employees on how to use a new application. If we roll out this new application through a chat engine, let's say WhatsApp, or you want to roll it out through Facebook Messenger or any other channel that you have. Chatbot is very easy to use, and end users, I mean, people know how to use a chatbot. So it reduces the overall need to train the employees on how to use a chatbot or how to access different, application features. Rather than understanding where to click, how to download payslip, you can directly type on the chatbot, "Can you please send me my payslip?" And the chatbot will extract the payslip from your application and send it to you on email. So it becomes easy for the organization to quickly have the applications rolled out to new users in the organization. Similarly, it also reduces the overall change management efforts. Why? Because there is no resistance from people. They are very well used to chat applications. So we've done a lot of HR implementation, so we understand the kind of challenges that we face. People saying, why do I have to navigate so many steps to get to a policy document or to get to my payslip? So that makes the entire change management easy. Using a chat engine, you can quickly download documents that you want. You can quickly query what policy applies to you or your job title. So that makes it pretty easy. So the other point is, people don't need to log into the HR application. They can do everything from a chatbot, including expenses upload, or if they want to update their profile, they want to update their visa or passport details, they can do everything from a chatbot. Similarly, from the HR team perspective, so we've seen that larger the organization is, more the queries that they get from employees through email or through phone calls or through different channels. So what we've seen based on our implementations of chatbots is that when we have a chatbot in an environment, the central HR team gets very less queries. Most of the queries are handled by the chatbot, and the central HR team can get more time to do valuable activities rather than just responding to the queries that are coming from different employees. So this will save a lot of time for the central HR team, and they can focus on their core activities rather than just responding to the queries that are coming from different people from the organization. Similarly, as we said that we want people to focus on their value adding activities that it holds for other employees as well. Rather than creating a transaction in HR, let's say I want to raise a leave request, or I want to fill up timesheets or upload expenses. So it takes time to navigate to the application to upload expenses or to create a leave request, follow multiple steps, enter certain fields. So it takes that kind of time. But if I'm using a chatbot, I can just type on a chatbot or just speak over it, saying I want to apply a leave for the next Thursday. So it automatically understands what next Thursday is, and it creates a leave request in the HR application at the back end, and then comes back to you. So that's how easy it makes organizations' life. So what we are trying to do here is we are trying to automate the entire HR application for the end users. So which includes not only queries, as I mentioned, but also your FAQs. So how does the compensatory leave work, or how does the work from home policy work? So if I have any FAQs which are related to the organization, which are basically so far noted down in the PDF documents, our policy documents. So we automate the entire policy document so that people can go through the FAQs quickly on the chatbot rather than contacting the central HR team for the queries, or opening up the policy document and browsing through it. So this makes the entire experience different or easy for the end users to start interacting with the HR policies or FAQs. So yeah, that's how we've seen organizations taking benefit from applications like these. Yeah, can we go to the next slide? Yeah, do you want to take this, Francisco?
I'll take it from there. And
Okay, thank
and
you.
as Arpan, thanks Arpan. As Arpan was mentioning, there are a lot of different benefits that HR teams can derive from using a chatbot. And what we see in our experience over the last almost 4 years in working with conversational AI and digital assistants is that a lot of companies are actually looking into HR use cases to get started with chatbots. The reason for that is that it's a classic use case because and I'm going to show you a couple of slides on this. But it's a way for companies to understand how a chatbot works, what a chatbot is, the value of this technology internally, and then scale it also to external use cases like customer support, sales, and marketing. A classic use case because a lot of enterprises, and Evosys knows it better than anyone else, since they have almost 1,000 Oracle HCM implementations around the world. A lot of companies always receive the same HR questions all over again. Something about absences, payslips, salaries. So these are low value queries that the technology can easily automate. And therefore, if you can automate 20, 40, 60% of these repetitive requests, then your HR team is going to have more time to focus on those high value added tasks that really drive value for your organization. Getting started with the chatbot is not necessarily a difficult thing. I summarized it in three steps. How easy it can actually be to get started with an HR chatbot. The first one is that if you have a list of FAQs that your employees are asking on a daily basis, that is actually the starting point. Your historical data, your conversational data on that your HR team has within itself, that is the starting point that we use to build a chatbot. Once we have collected these somehow FAQs or most repetitive cases, it's then a matter of training the artificial intelligence to recognize these repetitive questions and automate them in a matter of just minutes. I'm gonna show you a live demo in a minute. The third step is that within a couple of days, you can actually have an FAQ chatbot that covers most of your repetitive questions. And once again, Evosys has huge experience in the field, and together, Evosys and BotSupply, we are already delivering Oracle HCM chatbots both here in EMEA and in Asia as well. I want to show you now a very quick demo of how easy it is to actually get started with a chatbot before we get into the Q&A session. So I'm on this Thames Water website, and here I see that there is a list of FAQs, right? So I will just take a random one, the first one, and I will go into the BotSupply CMS, what we call the chatbot management system, which is a platform that lives on top of the Oracle digital assistant, and I will start training the AI on this FAQ. So the question is about no running water. What I'm doing now, I'm adding some variations of the same question so that the AI can understand what the user is asking for, right? Usually I will have to add around 10 variations. For the sake of this demo, I will just add a couple. Okay, I just added 3. Once again, usually 10 is the right amount, and now I need to connect that intent to what is going to be the answer that the chatbot is gonna provide. Okay, So I will create a new water. And now I'm gonna, copy paste. Oops. Anyway, now I can save, and the moment I'm going to preview, from here we can actually test, right? What we just trained the system with, and we can say I have no running water to wash my hands, and the system is already gonna recognize and get back to me in a matter of milliseconds by telling me that during these days there might be some major incidents, and the Thames waters in this case is really terribly sorry for the service being disrupted. And but no matter the content of the FAQ that we are automating, the goal here was just to show how easy, how quick it is to automate the most repetitive questions that you receive. Then, of course, I mean, building a chatbot can become also very complex, especially when you need to integrate with different backend systems in your organization. But to get started with a simple FAQ chatbot, it really is a matter of a couple of weeks. So the ROI, as we mentioned, is extremely quick. Now it's Q&A time, but before we get into the Q&A time, we are organizing on June 15th a 1-hour session, an Ask Me Anything session, where we are gonna answer all the questions that you guys are gonna have around chatbots, integrations with Oracle, SaaS applications, HCM, ERP, any kind of Oracle system that you might have in use today. So we're gonna follow up with these slides and with the link to this session, so that you can join with us. Now, Q&A session. Let us know if you have any question that we can answer around the topic that we covered today.
So we've got a question about how does the integration work, or does it support integration with non-Oracle applications? So yes, so based on what we have implemented, or based on the capabilities, I would answer that. So there are a lot of applications that we've integrated to, for example, banner application, which is widely used in higher education. Similarly, there are a lot of backend non-Oracle applications that we have integrated it with. So even not only FAQs, but if you want to create transactions into Microsoft or SAP or any homegrown Java or .NET based systems, we can do that very quickly. So integrating with the backend applications is never a challenge when it comes to chatbots. So yeah, it is ideally, I can say it is independent of the platform on which you are running your ERPs or your backend applications.
Absolutely. I mean, a chatbot at the end of the day is very flexible, and it can be connected to any third-party system with an API connection. So it's extremely flexible. It's not solely integrated with the Oracle ecosystem. You may use Salesforce, you may use Zendesk, you may use any kind of third-party system, and a chatbot, of course, can integrate with these systems. And honestly, the more a chatbot is integrated with all of your backend systems, the more value is going to provide, because it will be able to go and fetch information from different systems and provide better support to your employees or your customers that are looking for an answer. I see a question from Arun. Can we translate data or info during this chat session? Means, can any calculation is done in real time? So we are not, if I get your question correctly, we don't really use any translation service like Google Translate, for example. As BotSupply, we believe that especially for large organizations, the level of the quality of the service that you want to provide wouldn't be up to the level that your customers expect if you're using translation services. So we have built our own natural language processing technologies covering 30 languages. So in order to provide the highest quality of understanding from the AI system towards what your customers are looking for. So that's how we handle understanding of different languages in real time. I hope, Aaron, that is the answer that you were looking for. Okay, awesome.
Yeah, I've got one more question here.
Yeah.
Francisco, so I'll take that up. So there's a question talking about how well can we manage the chatbot conversations, because we understand that if chatbot is not rightly designed, then it can frustrate the users or it can give you wrong output. So I completely agree. So based on our implementation, so let me quote a few examples where we've implemented this. So Ministry of Education here in Middle East, where we've implemented this. Then there are a couple of county councils in UK, local governments where we've implemented this. So I would say chatbot is a very easy to use tool, but it is very important how you design it, because the conversation flow will actually tell you the success of the implementation. So we've also implemented this in few organizations which have call centers. So we wanted to reduce the volume of the calls that we get in the call centers. So even that has been pretty successful. So when it comes to the success of the implementation, again, I would say it purely depends on the experience of the people who are implementing these chatbots. So the design of the application would be very important, I would say. And that's where our consultants or business analysts would step in. So it would not be just a technical implementation that we do from our side. We will make sure that we understand what challenges you are facing, what are your KPIs. Let's say you want to reduce the call volumes, you want to reduce the FAQs that your central HR teams get. So we will focus on the KPIs, and till the time we don't achieve your KPIs, it will not be called a success. So yeah, I would clearly state that as an answer.
And Arpan, let me add 2 points to this, in the sense that you rightly say that that design is a key component of actually deploying a chatbot, right? Because at the end of the day, we're talking about a new conversational interface that didn't really exist until a couple of years ago, right? None of us was talking with Alexa, Siri, or Google Home until 2 or 3 years ago. So there is a lot of psychology and interaction design that needs to be taken into consideration when building such a solution. And I can say that at BotSupply, for example, we have a pretty strong team of conversational designers that work very closely with the Evosys team, and for us it's always been a crucial item, a pillar in providing quality services to our customers. There is no successful chatbot without a good conversational design process that we go through. So this process, based on deadlines, budgets, and so on, can take a few weeks. But we also have cases where it actually took up to 6 months. Because we go through a design thinking process where you have prototypes, user testings, then you go back to the drawing board. So this process can really be the key differentiator between a successful chatbot and a chatbot that actually fails. On top of this, I also want to say that we are coming up with a new product that we are going to call the BotSupply Insights. And because the design of the bot is also should also be very much connected to your existing conversational data, right? Especially if you are from a big enterprise, you might have emails, phone transcripts, chat conversations, social media conversations, and in some cases, in many cases, what we see is that it's difficult for you as an enterprise to actually get insights, understand what's going on within these conversations, right? So leveraging some Oracle technologies, we can apply AI and machine learning on your historical conversational data, understand what your customers or what your employees are looking for, and then use this knowledge, using these insights to actually start the process of building a successful chatbot that can really understand, that can really answer what your people are looking for, and provide ROI in the quickest amount of time. So both design and historical data are a crucial point in designing a successful solution. Okay, I think we're running out of time. It's 9:30. Arpan, I don't know if you have any last point that you want to cover. Otherwise, I would repeat the fact that, yeah, we have a pretty exciting session coming up on June the 15th. We're going to send all of you an invitation and a link to sign up. We're going to have limited seats, around 40 to 50 seats available for this session. So if you're interested in exploring, chatbots integrated with HCM further, please sign up to this session. We're going to follow up also with our contact information. So if you are interested and keen to learn more about how other organizations are using chatbot to automate their processes, we are here all the time to support you in this journey. So from me, this is it. Arpan, I don't know if you have anything else to add.
Just last pointer from my side. We've also prepared videos of HR self-service, like creating leave request or trying to find out FAQs from the HR policy. So we can share the videos with them as follow-up, so that they can see how they can visualize how it would look like in their environment. And we are more than happy to do a pilot with organizations who want to explore how digital assistant actually works. So we'll be more than happy to do that as well.
Absolutely. And last but not least, since we were talking about pilots, we have a joint offer, Evosys and BotSupply, where we are providing access to this technology for free until the end of June. So once again, as we saw from the slides and from the quick demo, it can really be fast to set up a simple chatbot in a matter of days. So if you're keen to give it a try until the end of June, so that you can see the power of this technology, please feel free to be in touch with us. Awesome. Then thank you everyone for joining us today, and we look forward to connecting with you all soon. Have a good day.